10 Things I Did to Stop Wasting My Evenings After Work. It's kind of ironic when you think about it. Most of us spend our workdays looking forward to our free time, imagining all the things we'll do once we're finally off the clock. But when the evening rolls around, tell me if this sounds familiar, we waste it. We end up mindlessly scrolling, watching random videos, or just sitting there, too drained to do anything meaningful. Trust me, I get it. I used to be the same way, actually, even worse. My evenings blurred together in a haze of exhaustion and missed opportunities. That is, until I discovered something that completely changed how I spend my after-work hours. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, great, another impossible set of habits, hear me out. What I'm about to share isn't a list of rigid rules or unrealistic routines. These are practical, proven strategies, ones that actually work with your natural energy, not against it. And the best part? They're simple. Genuinely simple. Small changes that can turn your evenings from a time of recovery into a time of growth. So stick with me for the next few minutes, maybe even grab a notebook, because we're diving into 8 powerful systems designed to help you reclaim your evenings. We'll cover everything from managing your energy, in a way you might not expect, to digital wellness, from psychological techniques to practical habits. Basically, everything you need to make your evenings the best part of your day. And I mean that. Changing mindset and evening environment. 1. Rewrite your default settings. The biggest game changer I discovered for not wasting my evenings. Separating my actions from my mood. For most people, these two are completely intertwined, so much so that they feel inseparable. That used to be my default setting, too. When I worked for an organization, my evenings followed a predictable pattern. Bad day. Scroll through social media. Exhausted? Call it quits. Stressed? Everything can wait until tomorrow. But what if we could break that connection? What if we could rewire that default programming? The key isn't to ignore or deny our feelings, it's to acknowledge them and then rewrite the next line of code in our mental script. Your current programming might say, I'm tired, so I can't. But you can update that to I'm tired, and I'm going to do it tired anyway. Or I'm stressed, and I'm still making progress. Think about it, you've already done this countless times in your life. Ever gone to the gym when you didn't feel like it? Pushed through a work project even though you were exhausted? That's proof. Proof that you can act independently of your mood. Every time you take action despite not feeling like it, you build more evidence. Evidence that you can be tired and still get things done. That you can be stressed and still move forward. And the more you do this, the stronger that mental muscle becomes. Your mood doesn't have to control your evening. You can be tired and productive. You can be stressed and still make progress. It's not about waiting to feel good first, it's about taking action no matter how you feel. 2. Respect your foundation. At its core, this simply means taking care of yourself. Let's be real, you can't expect to have the energy, motivation, or discipline to be productive after an 8, 9, 10, or even 11-hour workday if you're not taking care of your body and mind. If you're eating poorly, skipping exercise, or neglecting your health, you're automatically performing below your best. And whether you realize it or not, that's affecting your productivity, mood, and motivation. I know this from experience. For years, I was barely sleeping, getting by on just 5 or 6 hours a night, running on coffee, and constantly feeling drained. And let me tell you, when you're trying to pursue meaningful goals or activities after work, it's so much easier when you're well rested, energized, and actually feeling good. So what does that look like in practice? It means prioritizing exercise as much as you can. Learning how to eat better. Getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Drinking more water. Cutting back on screen time. Taking care of your mental health. The truth is, you won't even realize how far below your peak potential you've been operating until you start treating yourself better. And I can't convince you of this, you just have to trust me and experience it for yourself. These changes made all the difference for me. They're how I stopped wasting my evenings and started making the most of them. Build structure and plan your evening. 3. Routines and structure. Most people go about fixing their after-work hours all wrong. They obsess over time management when what they really need is energy management. Think about it, your evening isn't just a set number of hours on a clock. It's about your energy levels, your mental state, and your ability to actually enjoy life after work. That's where we need to focus. One of the simplest yet most effective strategies I use is the shutdown ritual. It's incredibly easy. When you finish work, stand up, take 3 deep breaths, and physically close your laptop. Why does this work? Because it's not just some random habit, it's a psychological trigger that tells your brain, work mode, OFF. It helps you transition from work stress to personal time more smoothly. Most people waste their evenings because they see them as one giant chunk of free time, which, let's be honest, can feel overwhelming. Instead, your brain naturally operates in 90-minute focus cycles, so we're going to structure your evening into power blocks. Block 1, Recovery. This is your decompression time. No decisions, no planning, just pure recharge. And yes, you need this. Block 2, Growth. Your energy starts climbing back up here. Use this time to learn something new, get some movement in, or work on a hobby. Block 3, Connection. By now, your energy is balanced, making this the perfect time for quality moments with family, friends, or even unexpected social interactions. Most people plan their day from morning to evening, but here's the reality, your evening affects your morning more than your morning affects your evening. So instead, flip the script. Start by deciding when you want to sleep, then structure your evening blocks backward from there. This ensures that your nighttime routine supports the next day's success. Every time you switch activities, take just 2 minutes to reset your space. Clear your desk, adjust the lighting, change your clothes if needed, whatever small action helps signal a fresh start. These little resets may seem insignificant, but they create a massive impact on your mindset and productivity. By making these changes, you'll transform your evenings from wasted hours into a powerful foundation for a better life. 4. Creative approaches for habit formation. Now that we've explored the social aspects of evening productivity, let's turn those insights into lasting habits. One key takeaway from working with hundreds of people is that building strong evening habits isn't about forcing change, it's about designing small, powerful actions that naturally transform your life. The key word here is naturally. Instead of overwhelming yourself with one big habit, which rarely works, try stacking tiny habits together. Each one should take less than 30 seconds, that's the sweet spot. For example, when you walk through your front door, you hang your keys, take off your shoes, and change into comfortable clothes. See what happened there? 3 micro habits, seamlessly connected. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Find your evening keystone habit, the one small action that triggers everything else. For me, it's making a cup of tea. Such a simple act, right? But the moment I start boiling the water, my brain knows, the evening shift has begun. From there, everything else just flows. A common mistake. Forcing yourself into the same hobby every evening. That's like eating the same meal every day, it gets boring fast. Instead, try a hobby rotation wheel. Pick 4 different activities: reading, drawing, playing music, crafting, whatever sparks your interest. Rotate through them. Your brain thrives on variety, and this keeps boredom at bay. This might sound like something from a science lab, but it's actually a playful way to keep your evenings fresh. Every night, try one tiny new thing. Sit in a different chair. Use your non-dominant hand for a simple task. Play music you've never heard before. I started doing this, and it completely shifted my perspective. These small changes keep your brain flexible and engaged. Let your evening activities blend together in unexpected ways. If you're learning guitar, try doodling the chord patterns. If you're reading, act out a scene when no one's watching. When different activities mix, your brain forms new neural connections, making creativity effortless. Evening boredom? It becomes impossible. Here's something I wish I'd known years ago: some evenings, your energy will be low, and that's okay. That's not failure. It's your brain's natural reset. These quiet moments aren't wasted, they're like a field resting between harvests, preparing you for your next creative breakthrough. By designing small, natural habits and embracing creativity in new ways, your evenings can become a space of effortless growth and inspiration. 5. Use your best hours. I know we're focusing on how to make the most of your evenings after work, but this might be one of the most underrated time hacks out there. Your morning hours are actually far more valuable than your evening ones. Think about a typical evening work session. Your phone is buzzing with notifications, friends are texting about plans, and after a full day of decision-making, your brain is running on empty. Now, compare that to 6 o'clock or 7 a.m., no messages, no emails, no Instagram stories to check. Just pure, uninterrupted focus time. When I switched my side projects from evenings to mornings, I found that 30 minutes in the morning was more productive than nearly 2 hours after work. We all have the same 24 hours, but not all hours are created equal. That hour you spend struggling to focus at night, it might only be worth 20 minutes of fresh, morning brainpower. So, don't just rely on making use of your evenings. Some days, you'll have commitments that take priority. But the early morning? That's sacred time, the world is quiet, your mind is sharp, and you can get things done without distractions. Take advantage of it. Promoting digital and mental health. 6. Digital wellness. Let's talk about something that impacts all of us. A well-designed evening requires setting digital boundaries. Think about this comparison. Remember those old movies where vampires would quietly drain people's energy? Well, your phone and laptop do the same thing. They're like energy vampires, slowly draining your evening's potential. But here's the good news: you can turn these devices from evening destroyers into evening enhancers. Let me introduce you to an unconventional approach I call AB mortality. The challenge is simple: every evening, delete one app from your phone. You might wonder, but what if I need it tomorrow? No problem. You can always reinstall it. But here's what's surprising: 90% of the time, you won't even remember which app you deleted. Here's another strategy: the analog hour. It's incredibly simple yet powerful. 1 hour before bed, your devices go to sleep before you do. But here's the key: don't just turn them off. Physically remove them from your space. Put them in another room. Imagine your bedroom becoming a peaceful sanctuary instead of feeling like a satellite office. Now, let's be clear: digital minimalism isn't about pretending it's 1985. It's about using technology intentionally. One of the most effective ways to do this is to choose just 3 essential apps for your evening. That's it. Everything else? Just digital noise. Another powerful strategy is what I call screen life separation tactics. The idea is to create physical barriers between you and your screens. Try charging your phone in the kitchen. Keep your laptop in a drawer. Use a real alarm clock instead of your phone. These small adjustments add up, helping you build what I like to call a fortress around your evening peace. Remember, technology should serve your evening, not steal it. These aren't just rules, they're keys to unlocking the restful, fulfilling evening you deserve. 7. Mindfulness and emotional intelligence practices. The way we manage our thoughts naturally leads us to a deeper understanding of our emotions. But here's the thing, your emotions aren't something you need to control or suppress. They're signals, waiting to be understood. And in the quiet of the evening, these signals become powerful tools for transformation. Let's start with something unexpected, micro-meditation moments. Forget the idea that meditation means sitting cross-legged for an hour. Instead, think smaller, much smaller. For example, when you pour your evening tea, and I do this every day, take a moment to feel the warmth of the cup in your hands. When you sit on your couch, notice 3 points where your body touches the surface. These tiny moments of awareness act like a reset button for your mind. One practice that completely transformed my evenings is what I call an evening awareness protocol. Most of us rush through our nights on autopilot, but here's what I realized: your evening has a pulse. Try this: every hour, take just 10 seconds to name your current emotion. That's it. No need to change it, just name it. Research shows that this simple act can reduce an emotion's intensity by 40%. That's where real transformation begins. Another powerful practice is present moment anchoring. Choose 3 everyday evening activities, maybe it's brushing your teeth, washing dishes, or changing into pajamas. These become your mindfulness anchors. Instead of just going through the motions, use these moments to fully tune in. You might be surprised, these simple, mundane tasks can turn into your most powerful meditative moments. Now, let's talk about emotional energy tracking. Your emotions aren't random. Just like everything in nature, they follow patterns. Try this: create a simple energy scale from 1 to 10, and check in with yourself 3 times each evening. After 2 weeks, you'll start seeing clear emotional rhythms, just like you do with your daily schedule. Finally, there's the evening emotional audit. It might sound intense, but it's actually a path to freedom. Before bed, ask yourself 3 simple questions. What energized me today? What drained me? What surprised me? And here's the key: don't write essays. A single word or short phrase is enough. You're not overanalyzing, just acknowledging. The most valuable lesson I've learned about evening emotions? They're not obstacles to overcome. They're messages to decode. And when you start listening to them with curiosity instead of judgment, something incredible happens: they become your most reliable guide to a fulfilled life. Social strategy and energy management. 8. Social strategies and dynamics. Beyond all the inner work we've discussed, there's another key piece to creating fulfilling evenings: our social connections. We've talked about physical energy, but your social energy matters just as much. Mastering this aspect helps you create evenings that leave you feeling full rather than drained. Think of it like this: your social battery works just like your phone battery. Just as you check your phone's charge, you need to be aware of how much social energy you have left. That's the foundation of what I call the social battery management system. Not all social interactions are equal, some charge you up, while others drain you. The key is recognizing your unique pattern instead of stretching yourself too thin. Trying to maintain 20 different friendships, which I've learned firsthand, just doesn't work. Instead, focus on building 3 to 5 deep connections, your evening tribe. These are the people who truly get you, who understand when you need connection and when you need space. Another important but often overlooked aspect is energy vampires. And to be clear, these aren't bad people, they're just people whose energy patterns don't align with yours. Try this: conduct an energy vampire audit. Pay attention to which evening social interactions leave you feeling energized and which leave you feeling depleted. This isn't about avoiding people, it's about timing your interactions wisely. To keep your social energy balanced, I recommend what I call the social recharge protocol. For every hour of social interaction, plan 15 minutes of quiet time. Think of it like a cool down after exercise. You wouldn't stop running and immediately sit down, right? You'd walk it off first. What really changed my perspective is rethinking connection itself. We often think of productivity and connection as separate things, but what if connection is productivity? Those evening conversations might actually be refueling your creativity, sharpening your problem-solving skills, and strengthening your emotional resilience in ways we don't always recognize. Start mapping your social energy the way you'd map a city. Some places naturally energize you, while others drain you. Some people lift you up, while others require more energy than you have to give. And remember, being selective isn't selfish, it's sustainable. It's about creating evenings that work for everyone involved. 9. Energy management. All these habits we've discussed. They require energy to sustain. Think of your brain and body as the power plants of your evening. And here's the key, understanding how to manage your energy changes everything about your after-work hours. Let's start with movement, snacking, not feasting. Forget forcing yourself into a full workout when you're already tired. Instead, take tiny bites of movement throughout your evening. It's simple. Stand up every 30 minutes. Stretch for 60 seconds. Do 5 jumping jacks between tasks. And here's the important part, this isn't exercise, it's energy boosting. These small movements help keep you refreshed without draining your willpower. Now, let's talk about your evening energy curve. Think of it like a wave, it doesn't stay flat, and that's actually a good thing. Here's how it typically flows. 5 to 7 p.m., your energy naturally dips. We all feel it. 7 to 9 p.m., your energy rises again. After 9 p.m., it gradually declines to prepare for sleep. The secret to mastering evening energy? Work with this curve, not against it. To better understand your own rhythms, try the energy audit. Think of yourself as a scientist studying your own evenings. For 1 week, rate your energy every hour from 1 to 10. Write down what you're doing, eating, and thinking. Patterns will emerge, some activities will drain you, while others will recharge you. And remember, this isn't about judgment, it's about discovery. Now, let's talk about mental energy preservation. Your brain has a limited supply of decision-making power each day. By the evening, it's running low. That's why you need an evening thought diet, a way to be selective about what deserves your remaining mental energy. Think of it like food for your brain. Social media scrolling. That's junk food. Empty calories. Deep conversations or creative work. That's brain nutrition. Your evening energy isn't about pushing through tiredness. It's about understanding and honoring your natural rhythms. When you work with your body instead of fighting it, your evenings shift from exhausting to energizing. 10. Integration strategies. Everything we've explored so far comes together in these final integration strategies. And these aren't just extra tips at the end, they're the framework that holds all your evening practices together. One of the most powerful tools. The life-work separation ritual, your daily bridge between work and personal life. Most people try to build a solid wall between the two, thinking that will solve the problem. But in reality, that just creates more tension. Instead of forcing a hard divide, build a bridge. Here's how: create a 15-minute transition space at the end of your workday. With each step across this bridge, you're moving further from work mode and closer to life mode. It could be a short walk, a change of clothes, or a simple breathing exercise, whatever helps signal to your brain that the workday is over. And here's a key insight about boundaries: they're not about building walls at all. Think about training a puppy. Gentle, consistent guidance works better than harsh rules. That's exactly the mindset to have with your evening boundaries. When work thoughts inevitably try to creep into your evening, and they will, don't fight them. Simply guide your attention back to your personal life, just like you gently guide a puppy back to its bed. This approach makes the transition feel natural, not forced. By integrating these strategies, your evenings stop feeling like a battleground between work and rest. Instead, they become a smooth, intentional shift into the life you actually want to live. Conclusion. Finally, we come to the whole life integration framework, the piece that ties everything together. Your evening isn't just some isolated part of your day, it's actually the foundation of your entire life. Every evening activity either builds your energy or drains it. The key is being intentional. Choose activities that recharge you, create spaces that uplift you, and nurture relationships that bring you joy. When you do this consistently, your evenings stop feeling like an afterthought. Instead, they become a daily celebration of who you're becoming. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let me know what resonated with you most.